An apartment concierge named Caesar wakes up early right next to his tenant Clara, who appears to be in a relationship with another man. After putting on his pants, Caesar leaves and goes back to the lobby. That morning, a daughter of a tenant named Ursula asks for money, to which the concierge just readily gives. The cheerful Clara later comes down and chats with him, and before leaving for work, she asks Caesar to take a look at her sink, to which he assures he will. While arranging the letters for the tenants, Caesar notices an envelope addressed to Clara from what seems to be her secret admirer. Caesar later visits his mother in the hospital, and he tells her that his thing with Clara is tough, but he is determined to find a way. He comes back to the apartment late again, and his overbearing supervisor scolds him. They are interrupted by a tenant named Veronica asking a favor from Caesar to look after her 2 dogs, and the concierge says he will. That evening, Caesar prepares himself for another night with Clara. The tenant later arrives, and she finds another letter from her secret admirer, but she seems annoyed and throws it away. She later goes to her room, and that's when we learn that Caesar is just hiding under her bed. When Clara is finally asleep, the concierge gets out of the bed and gives her chloroform to completely make her unconscious. He takes her skincare products and injects them with substance. Next morning, he wakes up early, brushes his teeth using Clara's toothbrush, and leaves. Outside, Ursula is waiting for him. She says that 60 euros was not enough to keep her silence, and she is now asking for adult movies as additional payment. Later that day, Veronica goes out carrying only 1 dog. When Caesar asks where the other one is, the tenant says he has diarrhea, and she's afraid that she might be losing him soon. Unbeknownst to her, Caesar fed her dog bad food. Meanwhile, Clara is preparing for work as she brushes her teeth and goes on with her skincare routine. Aside from the letters, Clara is now also receiving annoying texts from her admirer. Downstairs, she tells Caesar that she lost her watch given to her by her mother. The concierge says he'll look for it after he finishes fixing her sink. Clara thanks him before leaving. While the secret admirer Caesar is writing another letter, Ursula comes over to ask for the adult movie he promised. After handing her the CD, the girl says that Clara has become closer to her, so he needs to increase the hush payment to 100 euros. A while later, the supervisor scolds Caesar again because he did not water his precious plants, causing it to die. He tells his mother about this, and it is revealed that everything he did was all to make everyone's life miserable, including that of Veronica's dogs and the supervisor's plants. His only problem is that with Clara, because she is too cheerful. That's what he meant when he said that his thing with Clara is tough. That evening, Caesar tells the janitor that the office hasn't been cleaned for days, and the supervisor is about to complain to the agency. The janitor scolds her son, and of course it wasn't true because Caesar is just making them miserable too. Caesar is fixing the sink, and it turns out that it was him who put a clog in it in the first place. He also takes out the watch that Clara has been looking for, and pours acid on it. He then proceeds to hide under the bed and wait for Clara. When she is asleep, Caesar gives her chloroform again, and proceeds to put cockroach eggs all over Clara's apartment. When the woman wakes up, she notices a lot of rashes on her face and neck, which must have been from the substance that Caesar put on her skincare. However, she is still cheerful as ever, and the concierge seems not pleased with it. Clara wakes up one day awfully tired, and when she opens her bathroom cabinet, it is already full of cockroaches. She is horrified as her entire apartment is already infested by the bugs, so she hurries to ask for Caesar's help. The concierge tells her that she must have brought a rotten fruit that has eggs in it. Caesar says he will exterminate them, and Clara thanks him and says she will stay in her mom's apartment for the meantime. The concierge does not like it, and he is even more upset when Clara's rashes have already gone away. Caesar asks about the man who's been harassing her, and Clara says the police are close to catching him, now that they know he lives in the same building as she does. However, she is still clueless that her tormentor is just right in front of her. While talking with his mother, it is revealed that Caesar has tried to end his life multiple times, but then he found a reason to live, by making everyone else miserable like him. And now, he is determined to hurt Clara whatever it takes. One day, the police arrive to investigate the harassment of Clara. They later find a phone and envelopes in the locker of the janitor's son, leading them to suspect and subsequently arrest him. Caesar calls Clara and tells her that she can come back now because he has already gotten rid of the bugs. He then proceeds to hide under the bed and wait for her. Moments later, the woman arrives, but she has brought along her boyfriend Marcus with her. While the couple are having fun in the bed, Caesar accidentally spills the chloroform in his face. Fearing that he might fall asleep there, he crawls out of bed and rushes to go outside, but he got the wrong key. Clara turns on the water to fill the bathtub, waking up Caesar. Fortunately, he is concealed by the curtains, so he remains unnoticed. Marcus finds his bag, and Clara says that the concierge must have left it when he was fumigating the bugs. Her boyfriend finds a diary, but before he can read it, Clara suddenly feels dizzy, so he goes to prepare her breakfast. Caesar is able to get the right key in his diary, but when he is about to get out of the apartment, Marcus catches him. Caesar says he did not know that she was back, and he was there to get his fumigating gear. The clueless Clara goes to get his bag and thanks him for getting rid of the cockroaches. Since he is absent the entire day, the supervisor has finally decided to fire Caesar, and they are giving him 15 days to vacate. While he is packing up some things, Veronica tries to console him and offers him food. However, Caesar does his thing and tells the lady how miserable her life is, growing old without kids or husband, and nobody cares about her. Moments later, the ever-happy Clara comes down with her boyfriend, and she tells Caesar that they are going away for 4 days. The concierge felt miserably defeated, and he goes up to the rooftop to try and end his life again. But before he could jump, he sees that the couple are back already. They are arguing because they found out that Clara has been pregnant for 4 weeks even though Marcus hasn't seen her in 6 weeks. Clara gets mad because her boyfriend is doubting her. Unbeknownst to them, Caesar is just under the bed, listening while they argue. When the couple are finally asleep, Caesar gives them both a chloroform. He says that his affair with Clara is starting to bear fruit, referring to the baby. Moments later, he sneaks between them and starts doing his thing to the woman. The next day, Marcos asks Caesar to check Clara's apartment again because they still found some bugs. However, when they reach the room, the chloroform and paraphernalia are already on the bed. Marcus asks him how long has he been sneaking in, and when Caesar says 5 weeks, the angry boyfriend attacks him. While Marcus is trying to choke him, Caesar gets hold of a broken mirror, and he uses it to slit Marcos's throat until he runs out of breath. He brings him to the bathtub and put the shard in his hand to make it appear that he ended his own life. Before long, the police arrive, and calls down everyone in the apartment. Caesar sees Ursula giving him a look as if she knows what he has done. He also sees Clara, who is weeping after finding out what happened to her boyfriend. Caesar later finds a note that says "I saw you," and he knows right then that it is from Ursula. That night, he sneaks into the girl's apartment, and when she tries to wake her parents up, they won't respond because they have been chloroformed. Caesar threatens Ursula that if she tells the police, he will hurt her and her family. The next day, Caesar sees the no longer cheerful Clara, who is now leaving the apartment. He tries to console her, but deep inside, he feels glad that he finally broke her. Several months later, Clara has given birth to a baby boy. She later receives another letter which includes the diary of the concierge. In the letter, Caesar finally confesses everything he has done. He is hoping that whenever she looks at her child, she will remember him. Clara breaks down as she hugs her baby, while Caesar has finally learned to be happy, now that he finally made miserable the life of the toughest victim he ever had. Did you like our movie recap? Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. To be updated for new movie recaps, hit the notification bell.